let's just get in an important voice on the auto space because the numbers that have come out, we're talking about numbers, and the numbers that came out from some of the auto majors, particularly Bajaj Auto, haven't been that great. Mahantesh Sabaran, senior analyst at Fortune Equity India, joins us right now to talk about a couple of these data points that came out. Mahantesh, great to have you. Thanks so much for accommodating this request. What do you make of what Bajaj Auto and TVS dished out? We'll talk about auto space as a general as well, but these two in particular, because call it inventory build-up or otherwise, it was a fairly lackluster performance by both of these. Hero numbers are not out as yet, but expectedly they won't be too spectacular either. What do you make of the numbers that came out in December? And two, do you think the weakness that they've shown in December can percolate in January as well?
Okay, let me talk about December. If you look at Bajaj Auto, for example, 3,05,000 is the sale number for the month of December. The important headline number here is that there is a sharp 18.4% drop in sales month on month. Seasonally, it does happen that December would be a weaker month, but this is far too sharp a slowdown. In fact, if you exclude exports out of Bajaj Auto's numbers, then the slowdown is like 24% month on month kind of slowdown. This is a sharp deceleration that we have seen. If you look at the quarter gone by, and if that accounts for the festival season, then Bajaj Auto's sale numbers would be something like a 9-quarter slowdown, decelerated right down to 13% in terms of growth rate, and this is a 9-quarter sales slowdown that we have seen. So we have never seen such a sharp slowdown before. I really cannot comment on TVS numbers, but yes, one can notice that the numbers are weak for them as well when you look at the two-wheeler space, especially in the domestic market. And Hero Honda, although have not announced their numbers, but we suspect that they too will have an eventual quarterly growth of just about 8 or 9%. That for them would be a 6-quarter or a 5-quarter lowest growth rate in terms of sales. So that's what we are seeing in two-wheeler space.
Yeah. So the question really, Mahantesh, is that if you look at two-wheelers, it was pretty much like, as we were discussing with our research team as well, a subsector within a sector which was holding out despite all that was happening around the larger brothers in the four-wheeler space as well. The question really is the near-term outlook damaged because of the inventory build-up, because of how this month's performance has been? And if indeed you do believe that the next couple of months also could be weak, I mean, is that a belief that you have, one? And two, what's the view on the auto space, the two-wheelers in particular right now? We'll come to the four-wheelers later.
Okay, as far as the near-term outlook is concerned, yes, we're going to see the sales growth to be in low, not really low, but I'll say single digits in terms of growth rate. That's what I meant, in a way, hinted at when you look at last 3 months' growth. That has decelerated down to 9%, let's say, for Hero Honda, or let's 13% for Bajaj Auto. So we're going to see the two-wheeler space actually have a sales growth even into the next quarter in the range of sub 10%. So that's going to be a low growth kind of numbers that they will post. If you look at over when this growth rate will re-emerge and become stronger, that call can be taken only, let's say, after the budget. That's number one. And number two, around the so-called marriage season of the months of April, May. So we'll wait until then. We're not going to see any great growth numbers coming out of the two-wheeler space just as yet.
Right, Mahesh, what's the sense with the M&M then, because there seems to be a bit of a divide on how the UV sales are doing and the tractor sales. What's the trajectory that you foresee over the next couple of quarters?
See, M&M has a much wider footprint in terms of overall sales because their presence is across sub-segments. They're in three-wheelers, they're in commercial vehicles, they're as well as they're in utility vehicles, they're even passenger vehicles. But broadly, and very broadly, tractor sales have slowed down. If you look at the growth for this year, this month, it's 0.3% in terms of growth. Last month, in November, the sales deceleration in tractors was too sharp. They have stabilized as of now. So tractors is one trend which is slightly worrying right now. If you look at the utility vehicle space, then they are growing quite strongly, almost 30% in terms of growth rate, and they will continue to grow because they have just launched the new product XUV 500, and that sales momentum, there's a huge amount of order backlog, we all know about that, so that growth momentum will continue. Where the slowdown will come for them will be, first to begin with, will be in three-wheelers, but that's too insignificant a sub-segment to really focus upon. So I would lay my focus on just two sub-segments, utility vehicles and tractors. Yes, it's mixed. Tractors are slowing, whereas utility vehicles are growing. So the opinion here is kind of mixed.
Mahantesh, before we wrap up, understood you have to go. Within the space, what is it that you like, and are you changing your calls on Bajaj Auto in particular, as also maybe the other two-wheeler stocks or any of the other four-wheeler stocks after the numbers that have come out in December?
Okay, let me clarify first. We had a sell call on Hero Honda or Hero Motocorp. We had a hold call on Bajaj Auto. We are not changing that as yet. So the call expectations have really come out the way we wanted. Yes, after the fall that we have seen today, there seems to be an upside to Bajaj Auto numbers, and fundamentally speaking, a rupee depreciation is something which works in favor of Bajaj Auto. So probably a quarter down the line, after that is March, we might see numbers coming in better for Bajaj Auto, so we'll maintain our hold call right now. Hero Motocorp is clearly overvalued. Decelerating sales doesn't cause a re-rating. In fact, we are looking at the stock to fall further. So that's our basic call on these two stocks. What we like within the sector, yes, is commercial vehicles. So we do like Bajaj Auto, we do like Tata Motors and Ashok Leyland. These are two stocks on which we have a buy call.